What does it mean to socialize? Socialization is the process by which the human being learns, in the course of his life, the socio-cultural elements of his environment and integrates them into the structure of his personality under the influence of experiences, events, and social agents. Socialization is possible thanks to social agents, which can be identified as the family, school, and the media, and to the existence of rules for socialization that are elements that regulate our way of relating to the environment, and that also they serve for our location in different social groups. Also in socialization, a person internalizes the culture of a given society through the action of representative institutions and individuals with the capacity to transmit and impose the culture that is considered appropriate. Socialization is a process that almost all people go through. In socialization, there must be a cognitive assimilation of all elements, principles, and socio-cultural foundations. This process materializes through the action of social agents created by the family, school, parents, and even the media and institutions. Among all these agents, the family is considered an important part of the socialization process, since it is our first contact with people who are different from us and serves as a guide for our first contacts with the outside world. The school, in this context, we learn the guidelines to follow to relate to our classmates, as well as the first agreement with authority figures outside of parents or guardians. Socialization involves being with and being part of other people, enjoy their company, trust them or let them trust you, and work together for common goals. Going to church, joining a club or group, chatting online, calling a friend on the phone, or going out with friends are all means of socializing. These are the activities that eliminate feelings of loneliness and promote a sense of security, belonging, and enjoyment that help people feel safe. Being able to socialize well is one of the main reasons why it is important to have good social skills. If you have social skills, it will be easier for you to socialize and you will more easily enjoy the benefits of having healthy and loving relationships with others, such as, you feel part of something, you receive support when you need it, you have people with whom you spend time, you feel loved, you have someone to share feelings and ideas.
This video is brought to you thanks to Incorrect Coin. If you are looking for where to invest your money, this could be a great opportunity for you, since you not only invest to multiply your money, but you also multiply your freedom.
What are the stages of socialization? There are 5 stages of socialization that begin at birth and continue through adulthood, evolving in complexity and importance. So these are the 5 stages of socialization. Oral stage. The oral stage covers the first year of the child's life and is characterized by attachment to parental figures and the use of crying to communicate. Socialization is limited during the oral stage because children cannot control speech and other functions. However, children develop the basic foundations of socialization during the oral stage. Anal stage. The anal stage continues for 2 years as children gain control over their bodies and bodily functions. Children begin to learn to communicate with words and begin to develop primitive social skills. Children in the anal stage also learn the difference between right and wrong and the concept of punishment and reward. Oedipal stage. The Oedipal stage is a fundamental part of social development that spans from 3 to 13 years. People begin to learn about social hierarchy and the value of socializing. In the Oedipal stage, friendship groups are formed and people begin to transition into adolescence. Adolescence is a critical stage of social development. People begin to form lifelong friendships and romances. In adolescence, social engagements increase and confidence develops, helping young people to be more social as they move into adulthood. Adulthood is the last and longest stage of socialization. People take everything they learn during the first 4 stages and apply it. Adulthood requires different levels of social interaction and the learning of socialization skills from stages to increase social activity. What are the characteristics of socialization? There are 3 characteristics of socialization. First, socialization is an ongoing process that is both formal and informal. People socialize throughout life and their motives for socializing will vary depending on the formalities required. Second, socialization reaffirms social norms. The characteristics of socialization help to transmit and reinforce social norms and behaviors. Third, socialization requires basic discipline and behavioral control throughout society. Characteristics of socialization form the basis of the do's and don'ts during social interactions. These characteristics impact personal identity and the process of learning appropriate social norms, values, and behaviors. The characteristics of socialization make people happy by providing a foundation for appropriate behavior and healthy social activity. Why don't they all have the same talent? There are big differences between people as we develop the skills that allow us to socialize with others. While some show great skills to relate and generate friendships in a very similar simple way. For others, it is a great effort. These difficulties in meeting and making friends with people can cause great feelings of frustration and anguish because one feels needed and wants to relate to others, but their ignorance or lack of ability has made it impossible. The skills that allow us to interact with others and form positive personal and friendly bonds are known as social skills. This concept encompasses all the actions and behaviors that a person carries out in an interpersonal context. Basically, it consists of the expression of emotions, feelings, desires and thoughts in an effective and adequate way according to the situation in which the person finds himself. It is also characterized by the ability to respect others and solve problems, minimizing future consequences and complications. The reason some people don't have these abilities is because they did not have the opportunity to learn and put them into practice, either with inadequate or not very direct learning patterns, or with the interference of negative thoughts or insecurity due to negative life experiences. So remember that time spent socializing can help build your confidence, strengthen your sense of meaning and purpose in life, raise your self-esteem and help you become more confident, and help reduce stress. Socializing really comes down to spending time with other people you care about or who are involved in something you care about. So there are numerous ways to increase your socializing. However, like all other skills, they are apt to be learned and practiced. While this can get a bit more complicated over time, it's never too late to change or improve your socializing habits and patterns. So I will tell you a series of suggestions that will help you and make it easier for you to interact with other people in such a way that you will feel comfortable and be more sociable. Put our advice to the test and tell us in the comments how it went. Number 1. Start networking with people you already have connections with. Reaching out to old friends, distant relatives, and people you met in school can be a great start, because you only start with acquaintances and not complete strangers. Use this group of acquaintances as the first step in communication before meeting people with whom you have no connection. Number 2. Start conversations with new people. If you've recently been introduced to someone, or there are a few new people around, see if you can start a conversation. Maybe you have time to get to know them better. Maybe you can only talk for a minute or two about what you're both doing. It's not the deepest interaction, but if you make a little connection with someone, so that's friendlier than standing alone. Number 3. Focus on what surrounds you. If you're in your own head worrying about what you'll say next or what people might think of you, you won't be able to feel comfortable with the situation. Instead, focus on the conversation and the setting. For example, thoughts start to come up, like, is my posture weird? They won't like me. So see it as a signal to consciously choose to focus on the environment or the conversation. So when you do, you'll be less self-aware, and the more you focus on a conversation, the easier it will be to add to it. Number 4. Think about what you want to share first. Think of 1 or 2 things you've recently learned or experienced and get ready for the party so you can have a quiet conversation and don't have to rush to another topic. Make sure these 2 things are appropriate to say to partygoers. Number 5. Know how to start a conversation. Knowing how to start a conversation is the backbone to being more sociable. Starting a conversation helps communicate needs and coordinate with others to accomplish tasks together. Plus, it creates opportunities to meet people you might not otherwise meet, which opens the door for you to have more social interactions. So for you to start a good conversation, take into account these data. Ask questions. Asking a question is one of the best and easiest ways to start a conversation. It introduces you as a social person, which will also help you in future conversations. Asking questions also shows that you value the opinions of others. Ask for help or advice. Asking for help is another great way to be more social. Not only does it open up a conversation, but it shows that you value being part of a group. Asking for advice also indicates that you are humble enough to accept outside input. Introduce yourself. If you want to be more social, you need to make sure that others know who you are. Introducing yourself to new people is a great way to start a conversation and build your confidence. Wait your turn. It is important to know when to listen and when to take the opportunity to speak. Doing it at the wrong time could stop a conversation instead of starting it. Be empathetic. One of the most critical social skills is empathy. When others speak, show that you care to listen and consider their words. Doing so will help people feel relatable and trustworthy with you, allowing them to open up to you more quickly. Number 6. Decide who you want to talk to. Approach that person simply and confidently, and hold out your hand to introduce yourself. It's not easy to do, but it's the most direct way, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. Be confident and inspire your own confidence. There are many people in this world who gossip a lot and are not born with self-confidence. They have learned to show confidence. Such a performance can quickly become a reality. From pretending you can do it to actually doing it really works. Some people call this the hostess mentality. You think of others first and try to make them feel comfortable. This rare effort will make you feel powerful and ultimately at ease. Number 7. Starting small. Because of the tension that a conversation or contact with another person can generate, it is worth starting small. Choose places that are not crowded so you can have a quiet conversation with 1 or 2 people. Losing the fear of engaging in conversations is our choice of everyday contexts where people speak naturally or habitually. It's also a good idea to start with small comments that can spark conversation, but before exaggerated or overly deep phrases or sentences come out. Important comments that express common ground with the other person are often very effective in creating a connection. So starting with small bouts of socializing can ease the anxiety of becoming more social. Keep social engagements to a minimum until you forget about social anxiety. Number 8. Maintain proper eye contact. Looking at people while you speak is a sign that you are listening and makes it easier to bond with others. Otherwise, if you don't pay attention, it will seem like you're not interested, and this can create a barrier between the two of you. Because there is nothing worse than talking to someone whose eyes are wandering. You can make the other person feel that you are not really listening to them because you are not looking at them, and therefore they think that you are not paying attention to them, and therefore they stop talking to you. Number 9. Find out what people are passionate about. People will find you interesting if they think talking to you is interesting. Think less about what you can say to sound interesting and more about how you can make the conversation interesting for both of you. So take into account and ask what they like the most in their work or what they don't like about their work. You can also ask them what they like to do when they don't work, and if they mention something that seems interesting, ask him more about that topic. Remember that you will always get short answers, but it is normal. But do not get discouraged so you can start socializing. Number 10. Learn to listen. Socializing doesn't just mean talking to other people. It also means participating and actively listening to what other people say to us. Active listening will allow us to gather enough information from other people to be able to formulate appropriate questions and comments in such a way that it will allow us to carry on the conversation effectively and arouse the interest of the other person. Knowing how to listen implies processing and actively participating in a conversation. Knowing how to listen requires social skills, criticism, and constant practice. Active listening is necessary to become more social because it helps people learn about the people they interact with. Knowing how to listen before you speak shows that you are ready to actively participate in what someone has to say. Another example of exhibiting good listening skills is making eye contact. Eye contact is a physical indicator that you are paying attention. The activity of listening is a must to become more social and also allows you to better identify the different social cues. The better you understand these cues, the more successfully you can apply active listening skills in future social interactions. Number 11. Improve your self-confidence. Improving self-confidence is the process of building an individual's opinion of himself. Confidence is necessary to be more sociable because it helps reduce social anxieties. By improving your self-confidence, you will find that the prospect of engaging in social situations is less overwhelming. There are 3 examples to improve your self-confidence. First of all, it improves your outward appearance. The traditional advice is to work on your fitness or style to remind yourself of your positive qualities. Second, focus on your intrinsic value. Your intrinsic value lies within the positive aspects of your life. To focus on your intrinsic worth, engage in activities that you're good at or feel good about, and practice positive affirmations. Third, don't let your inner critic get too focused on where you fall short. Failure is the best teacher, so see it as an opportunity to improve your social skills. Self-esteem exists in a look of positive feedback, so have faith that you are worthy of the good stuff. So having a positive opinion of yourself makes you more attractive to other people. Negativity can be unpleasant. Number 12. Stay away from toxic relationships. Avoid and walk away from toxic relationships. Make room for positive relationships. Number 13. Don't force yourself to always say yes. Don't force yourself to always say yes to learn to be more sociable. Saying no is necessary to maintain a sense of autonomy. Trying to be more social does not mean agreeing to all social commitments. Even the most outgoing will say no when things don't suit them. Being more outgoing means not forcing yourself to always say yes. It's vital advice because having a sense of self makes people complete. Well-rounded people have more opportunities for social interactions. Number 14. Don't hesitate to compliment. Social people do not hesitate to compliment others. Something as simple as giving a compliment is a great way to expand your social skills. First of all, compliments make people feel good. A good compliment can offer congratulations on a job well done or praise a person's style of dress. Second, compliments are positive. Positive interactions are key to being more social, and compliments start conversations on an upbeat note. A good opening compliment praises a person without judging permanent characteristics, such as praising a person's favorite restaurant. Third, praise builds trust. Don't hesitate to compliment people because it can help people open up and express themselves. Compliments make others feel good about themselves and remove hesitation and the risk of negative interactions. Number 15, have a lot of small interactions. Make small interactions as soon as you have the opportunity. That will make talking to people less scary over time. Say hello to the bus driver. Ask the cashier how she is. Ask the waiter what he would recommend, etc. This is called habituation. The more we do something, the less scary it becomes. If you are shy, introverted, or have social anxiety, this is very important, as socializing may not come naturally to you. Number 16, stay informed. Knowing what is happening around us, the latest news and events will give us a wide range of topics to start conversations, so you will be able to intervene effectively in the discussions that may arise in social gatherings. Number 17, smile. Of course, we're not talking about difficult or persistent smiles, because they can convey a feeling of awkwardness or distrust towards other people, so only smile when they make funny comments, or when you're in a relaxed and carefree environment. Number 18, don't be afraid to say no. Objecting to situations you don't agree with helps cultivate a positive sense of self and reinforces positive relationships. Number 19, feel involved. Feeling involved means tapping into community networks and leads to being more sociable. Participating in community events is a way to meet new people and discover more about yourself. An example of community involvement is volunteering for a charity drive. Another example is greeting a neighbor. Without speaking, you can use eye contact and body language to non-verbally engage in social interaction. Number 20, understand when you need help. Understanding when you need help is part of becoming more social. Learning to be more social is not something you can do alone. Sometimes you need to ask for help. If you are struggling and want to learn to be more social, seek help from your friends or family. For example, ask them for advice or get them to support you at an upcoming social event. Having a friend criticize your social skills or offer support can give you a much-needed ego boost. Number 21, talk to strangers. Talking to strangers is the process of interacting with new people. Interacting and talking with strangers is necessary to become a more social person, because friends start out as strangers. Talking to strangers includes having a conversation with a new neighbor or store employee. Making contact with a new person opens up more opportunities to socialize with that person. Unlike people you know personally, strangers have fewer preconceived ideas about you, which eliminates stigma and social pressure. The lack of stigma allows you to be yourself more comfortably. Also, getting into the habit of talking to strangers gives you plenty of opportunities to explore your natural social role. Number 22, keep your body language open. The messages transmitted by the body are so powerful that some people believe that signals other than body language actually account for 70% of communication. Maintaining a confident posture, standing up straight, keeping your shoulders relaxed, and avoiding putting your arms around your chest will keep you from being defensive or insecure. Remember to smile too, but make sure it's genuine. So when we get nervous, it's easy for us to tense up, so you lose eye contact and your facial muscles tense up, so people won't understand that you're nervous and they might think you don't want to talk. So there are several ways you can appear more approachable. For example, practice keeping a little more eye contact than you're used to. Smile when you greet people. If you tense up, relax the muscles in your face to appear calm and approachable. Number 23, get social experiences from a "how can I help this person" perspective. Some people see socializing as a selfish act, because some see it as a means to an end rather than an end in itself. However, some people treat social media this way, and it's a bit of a complicated way to think about it. Instead, consider first the networking experience gained from helping others. If you really help others, others will do the same for you. In this way, the motive to help each other has a sincerity. Number 24, ask follow-up questions. Most of the time, people only briefly answer your first question because they don't know if you're just asking out of politeness. To show that you want to talk about something, ask a follow-up question. This shows that you are sincere. People enjoy talking about what they are passionate about as long as they feel the other person is interested. Number 25, continue socializing to push yourself. You want to grow as an individual, both personally and professionally. Social media helps you hone your most essential interpersonal skills, which will be a great asset in today's world. It helps you navigate smoothly, teaches you to listen, and inspires your innate desire to help others. Number 26, get out of the way before you speak. In a formal conversation, maintaining the flow of the conversation to avoid dreadful pauses is the consensus. But when you worry about keeping your conversation flowing at all times, you often forget to listen to what other people have to say and don't respond to them intelligently. Don't be afraid to pause for a moment and think about what you are going to say before you speak. This second or two will feel longer to you than to your conversation partner. The investment is well worth it if you can get some smart answers out of your mouth. Number 27. Stay focused. When you socialize, stay focused. Try to focus on yourself, mingle with the people around you and listen carefully to the conversations of others. You will enjoy your social time more and more, and other people will enjoy having you more and more as a companion. Number 28. Meet people with the same interests as you. There are benefits to meeting people with the same interests. First, meet people with the same interests to bond around that interest. Having a shared interest guarantees at least one topic to talk about. Second, meet people with the same interests to practice reciprocity. Reciprocity is the process of exchanging things for mutual benefit and a common reason friendships are formed. Third, meet people with the same interests as you to learn about new topics. Meeting people with the same interests is necessary for healthy socializing because it meets our needs, relieves social pressures, and provides real connections. So whether it's video games, sports, books, or movies, involving like-minded people makes it easier to be more social. Number 29. Pay attention to your tone. The pitch and tone of a person's speech convey a lot of information. Different situations require different intonation. Of course, the key is to understand your audience and environment. Sometimes a formal, fun, respectful, or warm tone is needed, rather than an overly casual, serious, lighthearted, or factual tone. Choose wisely because your tone of voice is just as important as what you say. Number 30. Talk about trivial things, but don't get bogged down in them. I used to dread small talk. This was before I understood that they weren't as useless as you had thought. Small talk if you have a purpose. Two strangers need to warm up and just talk about something while they get used to each other. The topic is not that important, and therefore, it does not have to be that interesting. We just have to say something, and it's actually better if it's everyday and mundane because it takes the pressure off of saying smart things. What is important is to show that you are friendly and approachable. That makes people feel comfortable around you. If you want to meet people, you first have to make small talk. Doing a few minutes of worldly chatter is not boring. It's normal and makes people feel comfortable around you. Show that you are friendly. Number 31. Share about yourself. Share bits of information about yourself. It shows that you are a real person, as it is awkward for strangers to open up about themselves and not know anything about you. If you can't think of something you can relate to, that's fine. Don't pressure yourself. Just get in the habit of sharing something from time to time so that they gradually get to know you better. Then, after you've made your statement, you can ask them a related question, or they can ask you something about what you just said. Number 32. Pursuing fun and activities on the web means a lot to you. Who says you can't socialize while playing chess with a good opponent? Or socialize while your favorite medical community studies your husband's autoimmune disorder? The internet has made it easy for large groups of like-minded people to interact with each other. Internet forums, directories, announcements, and mailing lists of local events and conferences have the potential to attract people with similar interests or passions. Number 33. Practice being more outgoing. Practicing being more outgoing requires getting out of your comfort zone. Like any learnable skill, becoming more extroverted requires constant practice. Even if you fail, set your resolve to keep trying. There's a good chance you're pushing yourself too hard anyway. While social interaction is mostly an organic affair, that doesn't mean you can't do some prep work before you go out. For example, you can practice your greetings out loud, reflect on your body language in the mirror, or just have a conversation with your cat about the weather. Number 34. Don't write people off too soon. Do not assume that people are superficial. Just by talking a little, just by asking, you will know if the person is interesting and maybe even has the same interests as you. Number 35. Do not be afraid to express your thoughts. Don't be afraid to express your thoughts and be your authentic self. Try to avoid censoring your thoughts just to impress people who might otherwise disagree with you. Expressing your opinion is a great social boost as it helps attract like-minded people to you. Also, disagreement can be a constructive starting point for further conversation. Speaking your mind is daunting, but it's one of the best ways to engage in an existing conversation. Be discreet and respectful, and do not use your views to attack or belittle others.
You want a freer internet, one where ideas are not censored, one where you can share all kinds of content freely. Incorrect Coin is the answer. A group of people created this cryptocurrency with the sole purpose of combating internet censorship. Invest in Incorrect Coin and be part of the fight. Be part of the change and defend freedom. More information in the description.